Well, hello and welcome. This is the MoJo Monday, a place for authentic and from the heart real stories of the human journey, specifically on the focusing on the wellness journey, the health and wellness of transformations, inner, outer health, beauty, transformation, power, strength. We want to welcome everybody. I'm Robert here at my home office in Granbury, Texas, and my host with the most,
Mr. Jim Rhodes in St. George, Utah, where I'll be seeing several of you soon to our annual conference, and looking forward to that. But tonight's call is going to be super. I know each of the people that have said yes to us when we've asked, would you mind sharing your own personal story? And these stories that are real and raw, they're not scripted. And so you'll hear from the heart things that have happened by using these master formulations. And we need to put a disclaimer in here. We're not doctors, so we don't prescribe, and we don't diagnose, and we don't practice medicine, so we can't claim we're healing anybody. But we do know that when you put nutrition in the body that contains all the building blocks the body is looking for, oftentimes the body knows how to heal itself. And we're observing some of those kinds of miracles on a daily basis with these formulations. And even though these are personal stories you'll hear tonight, not everyone is going to have possibly the very same thing. Each of us is an individual. And when it comes to the business side, we also have a disclaimer. Your income is going to equal your output and the effort you put into it. And so we make no financial claims or medical claims. With that, we will proceed to the fun part of listening to those who have been invited on after you know the name of our company, which is Zalevo. Zalevo, and it's hard to say because if you're from South America, you're going to say Zayevo. The double L is a ya. But it comes from Latin, and it's actually two words, z, coming from the word zenith, which is the top in an arc, the top part of the arc. Levo is to lift up. And so it's derived from the Latin words alevo and zenith, which have a combined meaning of the time in one's life of the greatest power and success, to elevate, raise up, lift, and enhance, elevate people to their highest potential. And I might just add, these products have done a dynamic work with this body of 75 years of things that I could not do 2 years ago. And so I have a firm conviction nutrition is magic in my body. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Robert.
Thank you, Jim. Let me see if I can escape out of my presentation mode. Good old technology here, guys. 1 second. Thank you, Jim. And guys, as Jim said, again, we simply provide the right nutrition for the body so it can be the miracle. So tonight we have 4 different wellness stories, and within a spotlight, one of our leaders too, who's been a wellness entrepreneur for several decades now. And we want to welcome all of our guests. If you're watching this recording, we want to honor you. Jim and I love to say that you're doing what the majority of the planet do not do, is show up and grow yourself and learn and act on your desires for optimal health. So we want to welcome you. So first of all, one of my close friends who I meet with virtually several times a week now is Miss Donna Papangalan from the Houston, Texas area. And she reached out. Her sister's been texting her back and forth, she was saying, and said, hey, sis, this is happening, and this is happening. Some shifts are happening, and now I'm sharing, and now my hairdresser saying these things. And so I said, when I asked Donna if she had some people who had some great results using our unique and very powerful, potent collagen formulation, Donna said, well, let me reach out. And she did. So Donna, can you introduce our first guest tonight who's sharing her story? I think you know her quite well.
Yes, in fact, you know, I haven't known her all her life, but she's known me all my life because it's my older sister. So, anyway, so um, yeah, we're kind of thick as thieves. She and I were she's my best friend and we talk on a regular basis. And so when I was introduced to these products, you know, I wanted her to have the same good experience as I had. And so I brought her on board. And so she's been having some fun times lately with some let's just say joint issues, like having one replaced so far. But anyway, so I'm not sure what all she's going to talk about because she's had a lot of different things go on, but I know that she's enjoyed the collagen products and she has introduced others who have also been enjoying it. So I'm going to let her tell you more about it. But it's my sister Barbara Catalano, and you'll see her on the screen as owner because we aren't savvy enough to know how to switch that. But Barb, welcome. Oh, you have to unmute yourself, Barb.
We were working on our lip reading.
Yeah,
Down towards the
unmute.
bottom of the screen.
It's right next to the change your name button.
Bottom left.
Yeah, it says Donna Papangellen.
There you go.
Okay. Now you can hear me. Yes?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, Miss Barb. Welcome. By the way, Barb lives on the West Coast here. What city? Remind me, Barb.
I am in Folsom, California. I am outside of Sacramento.
Awesome. Well, welcome. So how long has it been since did you get on the collagen right out of the bat, or did it take a
Yes,
while first?
I got on the collagen right away. And the nicest thing about, because I was on a different collagen before, full disclosure, and I was like, okay, I'm going all in on this one. And believe it or not, these eyebrows do not have pencil to darken them. Okay. That was the biggest thing I saw. I was getting ready to start having to color in my eyebrows because they're gray, like this beautiful hair. And they got dark within 3 days. And I was like, I never even opened the thing I bought. You know, it was like, hey, this is kind of cool. Then I kept using it. Like Donna says, I have joint issues. And I needed 2 knee replacements. I only need 1 more. But I started taking it. And I'm not going to say that because I can't, you know, all I can say is it helped me out a lot. And when I joined Donna back in St. George, not this last February, but the February before. And I told Kirsty, I said, the only thing I hate about the collagen is that you can't take it when you're fasting. Okay, because the collagen is my favorite thing. And so I find that my hair's shinier, my nails, they grow faster. So that means more often do I need to go to the pedicure. Okay. And one of the coolest things I found, because for a while I was only doing the collagen. And yes, I am introduced to all the other products and I love them all. But I go through cycles. I'm not as dedicated as Donna when it comes to taking everything like I'm supposed to all the time. That's my rebel. Okay. But I will take the collagen every single day, no matter what. And I noticed that my stomach was getting flatter, just taking the collagen. And it was because my body was taking in all this. So my insides were feeling happy. And so my belly started getting flatter and I'm like, okay, I love it. You know, I'll go do the other stuff too, but you know, this really worked. And I teach water exercise. I have for 32 years. And so I get to see a lot of people who are going in for knee surgeries, going in for this and that and the other thing. And one of the gals was complaining because her hair and her nails weren't so good. And I said, you want to try my collagen? And she said, okay. And the next week she came in and she was like, oh my God, everything's so good. And I even ordered shake. And I said, well, good, because she liked the collagen so much that she says, boom, I'm going to go for the ultra. So she's got both of them going. And then one of my sweetest ladies, she's not even in one of my classes, but her hair was falling out. And it was a side effect of some medication they had put her on. And she kept coming in with bandanas over her head. And the day she wouldn't wear them, her scalp was so shiny and she was all embarrassed. And I said, here, take this, try it. Now she comes in with a smile on her face. Her hair is coming back. It's getting darker. But the thing I noticed the most about her is she's shiny. She's bright. Her skin is just popping. And she just looks so happy, and she's got a smile every day she comes in. And I just absolutely love it. And she's going to be my next person to sign up with Zalevo, because as she puts it, she tried 3 different kinds of collagen, and Zalevo is the one she likes best, not only because of the results, but because of the taste.
Yeah.
And she likes it so much that she wishes she could have it twice a day so she could sip it in the morning and sip it at night. And I said, no, you don't.
Well, she can.
First he said once a day, you don't need to. But anyway, so there's my, my thing into the collagen. I just absolutely love it.
Well, I think we tell that Barb loves the collagen. So I think her body loves it. And now she loves it enough, and she's courageous enough to share it as well. And regarding your own joints, and you mentioned your knees, we can't use some of the, we can't name anything, but you had some discomfort, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And would it kind of wake you up at night? What level was the discomfort? I'm curious.
Well, see, this is where I get in my weird space, because the discomfort I had wasn't 24/7.
Okay.
And it was because, can I say why in my body it hurt?
You just can't name any disease, but you can describe
It's not
it
a
all day
disease.
long.
Yeah, it's not a disease at all. It's called wearing out the joints and getting bone on bone. So
Okay.
there is no disease involved in it. And yeah, now I have 3 surgeries on the right one. I had 2 surgeries on the right knee. I've had 1 on the left. They took all my cartilage out years ago, 30 something years ago.
Yeah.
And so I got to the point where the doctor is like, you need to be replaced. These need to be replaced. And I'm like, they only go out every other day. It's okay. But, they're doing pretty good now. I mean, the new one is coming around. It'll be 5 months on the 7th of September.
Okay. Well,
So,
well, I'm glad you're getting some relief. And again, this is giving your body what it needs to deal with that, and to help, help as nourish and Andy's chatting away in the chat box there that it helps our body regenerate. That's part of the properties it has. So Barb, thank you for being on this call. Thanks for sharing the story. And I love your passion. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And thank you, Donna, for sharing with your sometimes wiser sister. So let's say that. So thank you both so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Isn't it a priceless gift when you can share with anyone, especially with loved ones, gifts that keep on giving, and you can bless their lives on so many levels. So thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to go over to a gentleman who all 3 of us, the next few guests here know, and have grown to just so appreciate and honor, love and light to this gentleman. He's become a good friend. So his name is Adam Bricker, and he's been on the formulations for some time. Early on, he was excited about the hydration aspect. And then as he put the collagen in his body, he's an active guy. And so obviously he has joints. He's and so he has an amazing story. If you haven't heard his story about his car accident and his gut health, and how this has really helped support, his whole digester process, I challenge you to go on to the team channel on YouTube, Team Z Global Impact, and go to a call we did just like this on gut health. And Adam is one of those who shared on there tonight the focus is on collagen. So I want to welcome Adam. Welcome, my friend, to the call.
Robert, thanks for having me back on. Thanks for having me on, Jim, and everybody else. I don't know if I'd make another testimonial like I did after the gut health until I heard so many people say how much that affected them. So what you guys might not know is that the first thing I ever had from Zalevo was collagen protein. Now, I come from a fitness background. I've worked out for years at the gym, and I only thought that collagen was to make my hair look so good and my nails shiny. And you know what? Quite frankly, that wasn't my highest level of concern. And then I had two things happen in my life. One was that car accident that Robert mentioned. Messed me up pretty good. They hit me sideways. So the car went this way, I went that way. And my neck and my back and everything got pretty messed up. And what got messed up the most were the ligaments and the tendons. And then what else happened in my life next was little Miss Carol Henderson. And she wanted me to have collagen protein. I didn't want collagen protein. She wanted me to have collagen protein. I'm like, you got any whey protein over there? And she said she did, but made sure I had the collagen protein. And she got it to me. She got it to my house, and I made a commitment. I made a commitment to her and to myself to take the collagen every day. And after a week, I don't know, couldn't tell anything, a couple weeks, couldn't tell anything. But when I wasn't looking, all of a sudden I could do push-ups again. When I wasn't looking and they opened the gym, because this was during COVID, all of a sudden I could move some weights again. And little time after that, I was gaining strength like crazy. And then my mobility returned and my flexibility returned. And I was just blown away at how this product was working on the inside of my body. And that's when I said, this is working, and I joined for more. And give me the digestive health, give me the whey protein, give me the hydration program. But it all started with the collagen and with somebody who's dedicated their lives to helping people live their best life, even if it's their second half of life, which we're all clearly a part of right now. Carol's dedication to the health and wellness of others has had a dramatic impact on my life. And that collagen protein was the way that it came into my life is absolutely incredible. So yes, my hair looks fantastic and my nails are super, but I also can be playing pickleball now. I've won a gold medal back on the court. I have been traveling all across the country with a 40-pound backpack that I couldn't even have on. I couldn't pick it up. But my resurgence, my repair and everything started with the basic collagen protein. I thank Carol, I thank Kirsty, I thank Brandon for putting the whole thing together. And Robert, thank you for having this call with Jim and everybody else. And that's me, and that's my collagen story.
I love it. Yeah, thanks for sharing your story. It's been quite the journey to witness and be on with you. So thank you. Awesome. Good stuff, Adam. And let's go over from Adam. We're going to go over to another dynamic individual, and her name is Barbara Ellison. She's up near, my mom couldn't say Chicago. She always said Chicago. So she's up in Chicago, Illinois area. And Barb is full of light. She's a ray of sunshine. She's pretty much everybody in Zalevo knows her because of her passion. So, and she is one of our leaders here. So Barb, we want to welcome you to the call tonight.
Well, thank you. And I love talking about the collagen. I have to admit though, that at the beginning, it was like, ooh, from the vanity part of my journey, let's put it that way. I'm 73, and also share a quick story. Last week, and one of the things that collagen has done is it allows me to still work in my little local restaurant. and it has just been phenomenal. But anyway, so last week I was there, and two of the guys, two guys, and I didn't even know how it came up, and we were talking about children, and I said, oh yeah, and age, or the ages of their kids, and I said, oh yeah, I keep telling my grandchildren I am too young to have a 30-something-year-old grandchild. And that was the end of the conversation, and off I went. Well, I came back a couple, like, how are you doing? Oh, fine. And one of the guys, Jimmy, he looks up at me and he said, all right, Barb, I have to tell you, I'm doing the mental math. There's no way you have a grandchild that's in their 30s. And I said, well, he's actually 33. And he was like, yeah, no. Were you a teenager when you had him? And I went, no. And so it was like, okay, yeah, now you're going to hear. I'm 73. And his friend, and Mark, the other guy, he looked up at me and he said, there is no way that you are 73. So thank you, Collagen. Love the Collagen. So, but on another personal note, working in the restaurant for the last 5 days, I've been doing, two of the girls were away. So I've worked the last 5 days, which is very unusual for me. Well, I came home today and I said to Carol, I said, you know what, Carol, I'm so glad I'm on Collagen. Because my joints just were like all sorts of good. And even 5 days of which I'm not used to doing. So yeah.
That's compared to what used to happen.
Oh yeah, I would come home and my legs would just be painful. I mean, I would have to take painkillers because my legs would be so painful. And and had trouble with and some joint discomfort too, but it was the ache in the muscle of my legs and in my back, just because we carry heavy trays and just being on my feet. Friday, I sat down and had a sandwich at 11:30. The next time I sat down was 6:30 at night.
Wow.
I never sat down, not once, from 11:30 to 6:30. And I got home and I took an extra and went to bed and woke up the next morning and just felt phenomenal.
Wow.
With nothing, no cramps, no leg pain, nothing, no leg discomfort, or just my legs didn't ache. So yeah, I love it. Never be without it.
What a blessing. So how many of you see the Z glow here and Miss Barb? Miss Barb Ellison. Yeah, you're a ray of sunshine. So, and what a gift, isn't it, Barb?
Oh, absolutely a gift. And I was on another collagen before Zalevo. So I really didn't think I would really notice anything, but oh brother, within that first 3 weeks, I was like, there's something to this. Yeah. So yeah, love it.
Yeah. So if you can stay on for a minute here to help me, and Adam's already shown a bunch of gratitude and some helping us introduce this lady. So there's a lady that we're going to spotlight next, who if it wasn't for her, you wouldn't have this gift. You wouldn't have the quality of life that you do. Let's be real about it. And because a friend cared enough to reach out and say, hey, you're going to do a fast with me. That's how she let in, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. She challenged me. She said, we're going to do a fast. And I said, I don't fast. She says, well, yeah, but this will be easy. It's like, Carol, I don't fast. But no, it'll be easy, Barb. It's going to be different. But Carol, what part of I don't fast are you not understanding? She said, but it's going to be a challenge and it'll help me out and you're going to feel good. And I'm like, fine. She wore me down. And I am so grateful that she did. And but I have to say one caveat to it. I looked at her and I said, Carol, fine, I will try your product just because I'm going to, but do not talk to me about your business ever. Ever.
And I didn't.
And she didn't.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
we finally pulled a few of the quills out of the porcupine, and now
I was prickly.
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But now I love it. I love it.
So what's one life, not much less leadership lesson you have learned from one of a key business partner here named Carol Henderson?
just be persistent. She didn't give up on me. And she let me be at my own space.
Yeah.
Of do not talk to me about the business part of it. But I will finally, I mean, I just said, okay, I will try your product just to help her out, really, to tell you the truth, which I've told her and she knows. Just okay, fine. And she caught me right at the right moment that I had to order something because I had been on another product. And so just it was timing. And so, but I was so glad that I did because the second day it was like my brain turned on.
Yeah. And that was before we even had the collagen.
And
So-
that was before the collagen. And then when the collagen came out, I ordered it, but as soon as they mentioned anti-aging, okay. Yeah. I mean, I love that line. Yeah, they had me at anti-aging.
I know.
Gonna
Well-
have that forever.
Well, you are definitely, as Jim said earlier, definitely
So
aging in
yeah.
reverse and love and
So,
life.
but
changing.
I'm so glad for Carol. So
Yes. Thank you, Miss Barb. So now we're going to bebop over back to Texas and go a little bit north of where we reside here, my honeybee and I, up to the Amarillo area, north of Amarillo, up in the Texas panhandle there. And she's been up there for quite some time. They have a beautiful place. There's a lake there. There's the countryside, animals, chickens, all kinds of good stuff. I think the occasional probably rattlesnake. I think she mentioned that a few times. And this lady's been around wellness, blessing lives, having the courage to be, it takes courage, doesn't it, to be any entrepreneur, much less in wellness, because in wellness, once you realize a tremendous, tremendous gift you have, it's kind of daunting or almost, it takes courage to realize that most people we present this to just simply aren't ready. They aren't ready to change. And Carol has that courage, and she is persistent, as Barb said earlier, and she is one of our platinum founders in this company. So welcome to the call, Miss Carol.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on and asking me to have the spotlight tonight, because I know that's a very honored place to be. My story with collagen is, well, I met Robert, jumped on board. We did not have collagen. And then I got to be in the trial before it was released. And one of the cool things that happened is Barbara and I co-host 3 different podcasts. And she started about 2 weeks into it going, what are you doing? And maybe 3 or 4 weeks, it was like, what, have you changed your makeup? Have you changed your skincare? Well, no, Barbara, I haven't done anything. And of course, we all had to sign a DNA. That means you don't speak one word to anybody about what you're doing. And so, I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And that was very encouraging. One of the hard things was we had to do a 2-week clean out before. And I want to tell you, my going up and down the stairs, looking in the mirror, I'm just like going, oh, because I was on a very good collagen at the time, but it didn't have all the things that our collagen has, like the Maricol system and stuff like that. And I think we have the exclusive rights to that. Jim would be able to tell us for sure on that. But it was great. My other stories of collagen is I had been on a product years ago and messed up my intestines. And one of the things is, Zalevo had gotten me much better. Some other things I'd done, because as Robert said, I've been in the wellness space for, he said decades, and he's right, but 40 years. And so that, I knew what to do. I knew how to do things. And this was accidentally when GMOs got put into the food system, unbeknownst to us. And anyway, and I had gotten pretty messed up, ended up in the emergency room out in West Virginia all by myself 2 times in 1 weekend. Had gotten much better, but when the collagen came in and it met with all the other Zalevo products that I had been on for a little over a year, it was like the whole world changed, and the total, my body had what it needed to heal itself. And I'm not saying that Salevo healed anything, but it gave my body the building blocks that it needed. And so that was one of the wonderful things for me with the collagen. I did notice my joints felt better. My husband noticed that he could, before he would have to turn his whole body to look behind us to change lanes or to pull out in traffic. And one day, and he did it without realizing it, pulled away from the post box and turned his head and checked. And it wasn't until later that day he goes, I didn't turn all the way around. I was able to just turn my head. And so those are the wonderful things that we have both noticed. I can say that when I've run out, or for whatever reason ended up, or fasting days, as was it Beth that said it was Barbara that said that. Fasting days, we don't get to take it, and I'm like, oh. So I'm really bad. I'll take it in the morning, and then if I know I'm going to fast, I'll take it right before I start my fast at night because I start mine at night. So I just don't want to go 2 days or 3 days without my collagen. But I love the fasting and all the products that we have that help us to fast.
Yeah. Well, obviously you're a product of the product, and it shows. So thank you for that. So, and then early on, you were already thinking and sharing the business concept, and you were no stranger to this arena either. You've been sharing with people, individuals, answers nutritionally for some time. So one of my questions, I just have 2 or 3 questions because we want to keep this pretty succinct, but what was one of your, for the people looking at this and maybe hearing about the product for the first time on the recording or live, or even considering sharing with friends, what's been the 2 biggest differences when you look at kind of the big picture, even early on with Salevo? What really stood out for you?
Well, the thing that caught my eye was the science-backed nutrition, and Kirsty's sharing. In fact, it was the burn mode video that caught my eye initially. And then I ended up on a phone call, kind of crashed the call, and Robert allowed me to. And it was a very early call. Most people were fairly new. They were talking about the compensation plan. Mm-hmm. And many people have come out of different types of plans, but I was familiar with this type of plan, and I'm like, oh yeah, you share with 3 people and you get free product. Oh yeah. And just the way that it's structured and the way that it's set up. Brandon and his team is brilliant at putting money in our pockets. And the other thing was that Brandon has promised that it will not change. And when people come into, investors work with Brandon, they have to sign a paper that say they don't get voting rights. So some big, hierarchy can't vote the bottom line and take all of our benefits away. And that is huge in this industry, absolutely huge. The integrity of this company. I've been with some good companies, but the integrity of this company, top down, and their willingness to totally just lay it out there, the core beliefs. We have 12 core values that are just second to none, and they are all there for our benefit and for our clients' benefit.
Yeah, so many beautiful things, that the pay structure, the integrity, you said, the culture, the world-class products, core values were built on. So is there a key maybe pitfall you stepped into that somebody looking at this could avoid? Like what's one of your biggest, I guess, learning curves or lessons you've learned here?
Well, one of the learning curves, I don't know that I stepped into it, but you look at people like Robert and Jim and Jill and some of these people that are at the top of the pay structure and top of the information heap and stuff like that, and you think that you should already always be there, and you've started today, and maybe you have no background in multi-level marketing. And I've got to say kudos to Adam, because he didn't, but he is getting in there. He's digging in and he's studying and he's understanding that it takes a while to build to where they are. But we all have that opportunity. We all have that opportunity to be platinum and servant leader 1, 2, 3, 4 on up there. And so those type of things, you do the daily do, and you be consistent. You show up to things like this. You show up to teachings like ones that Robert and some of the others do during the week. There's so much value here. And that's one of the things Barbara can talk to. This company gives you the steps. It tells you do this, do this, do this. And if you do those things and don't quit, you will be successful. Because it's like planting a garden. That garden doesn't come up in 2 days. You can't think that you're going to plant an oak tree and have acorns that year. Walnut trees, I think, not 12 years to even grow. And I'm not saying it takes 12 years, it's a Levo, but you don't compare yourself to others unless it's in their consistency and their dedication.
Yeah. Well said, Miss Carol. So Carol, yeah, so many lessons, and you've been on quite the journey. You've seen so many leaders, some leaders sustain and build, legacy businesses. Other leaders, they kind of they unplug, they stop plugging in, and they're gone. So I guess what's one of the biggest, if you had to look back, is there one thing that you're working on currently that you really had to pause, reset, and then recommit to recently? What's one of those areas that we could learn from?
Wow. Don't let the little things of life get in your way. And they're all little things. I mean, yes, there are illnesses, there are problems that come up, there's cars that break down, bills that need to be paid, all that kind of stuff. But don't let that get in the way of your daily, I call it the daily do. But, set a number, reach out to 2 people a day or 5 people a day. Depends on how fast you want your business to grow. And then follow up with them. And, you talk to Adam and Barbara, and it sounds like I'm a great follow-up person. I let so many people fall through the cracks, but there are, we all do. So give yourself grace and reach out to them. And in the mornings, I keep a piece of paper beside me when I have my quiet time, because people will come to my mind. And I found that if I pick up my phone to, for a while, I would even start a text with their name and then put it down. But even that can lead to, oh, let me look at this. Oh, let me do that. So I keep a piece of paper and a pencil there and just jot names down of people that I need to reach out to, because those promptings are from God. And it may be that that's just the moment that they need to hear from me. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be about business. It can be, I'm checking in with you to see how you are. Because that's the thing I've learned most from Robert and Jim is this is relationship. It's not sales. You build that know, like, and trust, which is something we all want to build. But so often we've been taught in past years in this industry to hit them with the sales. And if you're not getting them, get more people with it.
I love that. So I guess my last question, what's your favorite, what's a favorite resource? What's a favorite book or something that really has blessed your life?
Well, right now with Robert on Monday and Friday mornings, we're going back through the Traveler's Gift. I had not read it, so Robert sent it to me as a gift. So thank you, Robert. Another one of my favorites is The Slight Edge. And that is, he talks about, it's Olson. And it's little bitty things that cause you to go up or cause you to go down. And one of his favorite sayings is, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. So you've got to be consistent. And right now I'm in the middle of, and my Bible study is, but we're in the middle of Anointed for Business with Silvoso. And it is excellent. Very, very excellent book for business people. And that's what my Bible study is business people, all different walks of businesses.
Yeah.
And it is very, very good book. So those are probably three of my favorites.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's interesting on this call right now. We've all shared. My first gift from Jim Rhodes, from Jim here, was the Traveler's Gift. It's probably the gift that I've shared the most with different people. I think I sent you, Adam. Was it the Slide Edge, or was it Eric Worre's book? I forget which one.
Oh, it's the Slight Edge, and I appreciate you sending that, Robert.
Yeah, you bet. And if you haven't read the Slide Edge, as Carol said, there's so many principles and stories in there which are timeless, which will really help you understand the power of this profession that we're in. So, Jim, love to get some closing thoughts. I apologize, Jim. I've been just carrying on, yakking away. Here you are.
Can I say one other
That's your
thing?
privilege. That's what's fun.
Yes.
This is, all of us make a family and we contribute. And gosh, every person who shared tonight shared from their heart, shared from their experience. We do have outstanding, exceptional products that contain what it's supposed to have, as well as what doesn't belong in there is not in there. It is in the purest form. And these bodies of ours, when they receive these nutrients with the delivery system that's built in, just go to work. And each one has a hero ingredient, as well as an exception to anything else on the market of a similar nature. And with our Collagen 300, it's the sizing. So we're getting a 90+% absorption rate, where normal you wouldn't even get 20 or 25. That is one. Second thing is it's in therapeutic dose, so you're getting enough to really make a big difference. Plus you're getting the ingredients to build your own collagen, and that is an exceptional thing. So our collagen is that good and wonderful for us. But the same thing, the words that we've heard of wisdom, that is one of Andy Andrews' 7 habits, or specific things that those people who have been successful do, is they seek wisdom. And wisdom is to listen to people who've been there, done that, and can share and take years off of your learning experience to find out answers earlier in your life and apply them. And when they're applied, that is wisdom. So I want to just thank everybody who's been on tonight. You've fed my spirit. My belief just keeps notching up, as I'm hoping yours does, and that we are anxiously engaged in loving one another, sharing with one another, and then inviting one another to the banquet of exquisite products we have to share, as well as income potential we have to share, as well as a community that cares about each other.
Yeah, well said, Jim. And I believe Carol had another closing thought here.
Jim, I love those angel ears or angel wings that are behind your head there.
I'd like to tell you, my daughter-in-law built those. She shaped and fastened every single one of those feathers to those wings, and they actually light up. So wow. Thank you. It sort of looks like the way I'm sitting. It's more like horns, and they're supposed to be wings.
Okay. One thing I was going to say is I spend a lot of time on the road, and many of you, whether you work from home or work, I get the books. Like I got Traveler's Gift. I did read it, but then I have it on Audible, and I listen to it on the road. And that's one way to get extra teaching, extra learning in to your schedule when you don't have time.
Yeah, great reminder for that. Yeah, so many of the audiobooks are so awesome. So thank you, Carol. Thank you, Jim. Thanks all of our guests. Thank you, Miss Barb Catalano and your sister for having the courage to share with you, and Miss Barbara Ellison. Love and light to all of you. And let me just thank you, Andy. Let me yell out. Let's have Jim walk us through the core values real quick. We'll yell it out, and then we have a couple of announcements, but we'll stop the recording after we acknowledge one of our favorite core values. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. One of those major core values is we want to become a force for good. One person at a time, we can change people's lives. So at the count of 3, if you would like, you can even get excited about it and throw your hands in the air and yell with me, force for good. So 1, 2, 3. Force
For
for
good.
good. Yes.
Love you guys. 1 second.